Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of this garden renovation. I believe this is episode 7, and for those of you who've seen any of the first 6 episodes, you'll know that my name is Lee. I'm busy renovating the garden here where I live in the northeast of England at the height of summer. No, it's not really, it's the middle of May, and I'm trying to make the garden a nicer place for my son to grow up. I live here with my wife and our almost 7-month-old baby boy, and I'm on a mission to turn this garden into somewhere pleasant for this summer and many summers to come. And it's at this point in the video where I would normally say that I'm not a real YouTuber. However, not today, because your boy's been splashing the cash. This is a microphone, $12.99 from Amazon, I believe. So I can write that off for expenses. So hopefully, what I'm thinking I'm going to do today is clear the vast majority of this area. Again, for those of you who've seen the previous videos, apologies that I'm going to be repeating myself, but for those of you who haven't, this half of the garden, sort of from where this garden bin is over here and about 16 or 17 meters back, had the old veg plot on it, and then this little patio where there used to be obviously compost bins, a chicken coop, etc. I've demolished and cleared a lot of the garden behind where you guys are, where the camera is, and I've got this area left to do before we start putting in a new patio, putting in a new veg plot, etc. So I'm thinking that today what I'm going to do is I've set the camera up under a makeshift shelter to keep you guys dry. I've got the microphone switched on, and I'm going to crack on and get as much of this cleared as possible. And instead of stopping every 10 minutes to talk to the camera like I am now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk as I go. So in this area, and I'm trying to clear, as well as there being lots and lots of weeds, there is the remains of a patio. It was never a particularly flat or level or well done patio. It was very, very functional, which was great, but it's very uneven. There's a bit of a step up here. There's loads of bricks and flagstones and whatnot to take out, which I'm going to try and keep. There's also little bits of wooden structures and various things that I've built. A water butt, which is currently refilling after I drained about half of it. Some compost bins, and then this big old pile of rubble, which I was hoping next weekend, although the weather's meant to be bad next weekend as well, I was hoping to get the lads over, a few of the lads anyway, and their families over, and spend a bit of time doing some wholesome stuff like chopping firewood and smashing up rubble and whatnot. So in anticipation of that, or whenever I decide to do that, whether it be next weekend or another time, I'm going to try and clear this area of, especially of the weeds, as much as I can. I'm also going to try and open it up. And then what I really need to do, which I haven't really considered until this very moment, is kind of level this area. Again, apologies if I'm repeating myself from previous videos, but I need to level this area because this is where the new patio is going to be, but it's not going to finish here like the old one did. It's going to finish roughly where you guys are, where the camera's positioned. So it's going to be about triple the size that it was. So I need to get this area kind of flattened, and then some rubble or some gravel in the ground to create a solid base. Hence the rubble that we're going to smash up. So yeah, that's going to be a big job as well, isn't it? Getting it roughly level, but I'm getting too far ahead of myself. I'm going to clear some of these weeds. I'm going to get these compost bins out the way, and I'm going to maybe just chat to you guys generally about who I am, any questions that you might have that I could potentially answer. I don't want to assume that anybody is watching, because for all I know, I put this video out and nobody might watch it, and that would be perfectly reasonable in my opinion, because I'm a pretty boring guy. I'm not the most entertaining. I'm certainly no expert when it comes to gardening, so they say people watch videos either for entertainment or for information, and as far as I'm concerned, I am good at neither of those things. But anyway, if there's anybody watching, and if you're interested, let me tell you a little bit about Lee. So I'm from Newcastle. I live near Newcastle. I support Newcastle. Yeah, born in a hospital just across the road from the town moor, or the Hoppins as it's called. Just probably about 2/3 of a mile from St James's Park where Newcastle play. So that's nice. Anyway, live near Newcastle now, a little bit further north. Lived in lots of different places, all around this area. Never lived anywhere else, in terms of like any other countries or whatnot. But I have visited a few places. I like to think that, I don't know about you guys, but I think, you know, these people who are racist or have these really like enclosed view of the world, I feel like those people could do with traveling a little bit. I've never travelled per se, as in like, I never took a gap year or anything like that. But I have been to Africa, I have been to Asia, and various other places like Spain and Greece and whatnot, you know, on holidays. And I just think the more you see of the world, the more you realise that people are largely the same. There's certainly a lot more similarities than differences between people of different countries or races or religions or whatever. So that's how I see the world anyway. Yeah, we're getting awfully deep all of a sudden, aren't we? Right, let's get back to gardening. And the plan, the original plan, was to tackle the garden last year. But instead, we had a baby. So that kind of took up some time. So he was born in October. And then the next sort of 3-4 months was pretty much taken up by trying to get some sleep. Mostly failing to get some sleep. I'm slightly concerned that my brand new microphone's getting wet. I'm just going to readjust this. Yeah, so anyway, we were going to do the garden last summer. We didn't. We had other things going on. Because we knew we were expecting, we decided to focus more on the indoor jobs, which is obviously the right decision. And the garden basically was lowest priority because whilst I'm very keen for the Ben to be able to grow up outside, he doesn't have to grow up outside now. He doesn't have to grow up outside this year. We are going to spend some time in the garden this summer, but it'll really be next summer that he's running around. And by then, who knows, maybe I'll have this bit cleared by next summer. It definitely feels like it's taken forever. I'm going to shut up for a bit. Oh, I've just remembered I've got a cup of coffee over there in the flask. Maybe I'll go and have a sip of that. Just going back to what I was saying earlier on about most people watching YouTube for entertainment or for information or to, you know, learn something or whatever. Do not listen to me about gardening. Do not listen to me about DIY stuff. I am very much learning as I'm going, not teaching. Also, don't listen to me about YouTube. I don't know how to edit videos properly. I don't know where to find good music. I don't know what shots look best, etc. I'm just winging it. That's why I'm trying this little experiment of just leaving the camera in one place and chatting away as I'm going. Where's my break? Stop putting things down so far away. Ugh. Honestly, man. What a palaver, as my granddad would say. I wonder how quickly these weeds have grown, because I feel like they definitely weren't here when I started. When I was dismantling the chicken coop, I'm pretty sure these weren't all here. You know, it's hard to remember, isn't it? Like, you ever feel like that? Like, you feel like something was just 5 minutes ago, and then you look back and you're like, I can't even remember. It's a bit like that with the Ben. Like I say, he's almost 7 months old. And people will say things like, 7 months old, almost, like, bet you it's just gone by in a flash, especially, like, you know, when you're not sleeping. Like, time takes on a whole different kind of form. But you know, 7 months, 6 months, whatever. Does it feel like it was just yesterday? I'm like, it kind of does, but also it kind of doesn't. It's like both things are true at the same time. Like I remember when he was born, like the day he was born, I can remember everything about that day. You know, like I remember who said what when. Like I remember how I felt. I remember where I, like which direction I went in the corridor to get to the right room, and like all this sort of stuff. You know, it feels like it was. You know, it doesn't even feel like it was yesterday. It feels like it was this morning. It just feels like that moment was just the previous moment. You know. However, things that happened like 9 months ago or like a year ago, like it was my birthday last week, and I was thinking about my birthday last year. I was like, that feels like a different lifetime ago. I feel like, I don't want to be cliche, but like I was a different person then, you know, like I don't mean like, oh, I've changed as a person. Obviously you change when you have a child, but what I mean is like, it doesn't even feel like that was me, you know. We went to Chester Zoo last year for my birthday, which is not, you know, it's not like round the corner. It's like a 3-hour drive or something from here, probably longer actually. And then we spent like the whole day there the next day, and then drove back, and we went to visit my auntie who we don't see very often, and like, you know what I mean, like it was memorable parts of that birthday, and that was a year and 10 days ago, and it feels like it could have been 30 years ago, you know. So I think, yeah, weird. Again, we're getting really deep. Wow, where's this come from? Let's get back to talking about nonsense. Once I've cleared this area, I need to dig it down, level it off, fill it with gravel, what's normally referred to as type 1 MOT. In this case, it's going to be a free version because I'm going to smash up that rubble, or rather, me and my friends are going to smash up that rubble. Not sure how happy about it they're going to be, but that's what they're going to do. They're going to get invited over under the guise of a barbecue and then get roped into doing some work. And once the patio's built, or at least mapped out properly, you know, as in like where it's definitely going to go to, I'm then going to build a new veg plot behind the camera. I'm going to build a new veg plot based on the size, or the true size that we've got left. You know, it's no good. I felt like it was no good putting in, you know, a corner post across this sort of side here, like the back fence there, and then building the patio off of that, because that's just going to be complicated. I think put the patio in, and then I can make the veg plot, you know, 6 meters exactly, or 6 meters and 35 centimeters, or whatever. You know, it doesn't have to be a specific size. We're not going to be growing anything this year, that's for sure. But hopefully, if I can get the patio down and the veg plot in place with a bit of chicken wire in, because we do get a lot of rabbits in this garden, definitely going to get some chicken wire around the veg plot in here, get some raised beds in, and grow taties. That's taties, not titties. One of my friends said he watched, I think it was the first video, and I'd said the word taties, and YouTube subtitles had written titties instead. No, taties is Geordie slang for potatoes, which is going to be one of the main things we're going to grow. By this rain, I looked at the forecast earlier on. I'm just going to stop looking at the weather forecast. Looked earlier on, it said light rain this morning, should hopefully stop by, I think it was like 9 o'clock, or at least be like really light, you know, like a really light drizzle. It's not crazy heavy right now, but it's heavy enough, that's for sure. You know, the whole work smart not hard thing, yeah, that isn't me. I'm not saying I'm a particularly hard worker. I like to think that I am, but I don't know whether that's true. But I'm definitely not a work smart not hard type. You probably noticed there's a perfectly good wheelbarrow sat there that I could be filling with these stones instead of trudging back and forward down the garden. That's okay, I don't mind the work. physical labour is good for you, innit? Like, obviously it's good for you, but I mean, like, it's good for your soul. That was a very cliche thing to say. It's good for, what am I trying to say? Physical labour is good for your muscles, it's good for your heart, you know, your cardiovascular system, but it's also good for you anyway, you know, especially when it's raining. Touch some grass, that's what they say, don't they? If you're feeling down, if you're struggling with things, get out and touch some grass. Oh, that's a lot of mud. Get out and touch some mud. It's not quite the same. My philosophy is slightly different. Touch some grass, but don't forget to take your coffee with you. Oh, that's the stuff. This is a caramel latte, I think. Just one of those like make at home ones, you know, the ones that come in a sachet and you just make it yourself. It's about as bougie as I get, I think. Fancy coffees you've made yourself. Costs £2 for 8. You know, these people who like go to Starbucks and get like a coffee that costs like £6. What? £6 for one cup of coffee? I don't care how nice it is. That's outrageous, I think. I'm starting to sound old. Oh my goodness. Right. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little break, finish my coffee, eat my snacks. 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 It's a very specific Vine reference, if you get that. Finish my coffee, eat my snacks, and take a little 5-minute break. So I'm going to pause this video, and then I'm going to restart it again in a few minutes' time. This is the part where I pause the video and watch, 20 seconds of it back to make sure the audio works, and it doesn't, and I've just got 45 minutes of wasted footage. And we're back. I haven't quite finished my coffee, but I was getting bored standing still, waiting for it to cool down. Whoa. Ah! God. Newcastle's strongest man. Yeah. Newcastle's weakest man. Love how I spent days getting this area covered in topsoil, and now I'm just like slowly trudging it everywhere else in the garden. It's gonna end up totally bare. Right, where's the bottom of this thing? Get up! Come on! Oh my goodness. This is gonna be... Oh, Jesus! Ooh. Okay. I think probably the spade. Where's the spade? Oh. Ooh. Right, get rid of these two. Do you know when you think something will take half an hour, it ends up taking like 3 hours? Because I've been out here for probably an hour, give or take anyway. And yeah, I've been chatting away to you guys and stopping and have a sip of coffee and all that sort of stuff. But like, I've been pretty much working the whole time. And it's, I don't know, maybe it looks different on camera, but I don't feel like I'm getting very far. My garden bin's full. This is a disaster, this. Maybe I can climb in and condense it down a little bit. What the hell is that? Looks like an old disposable mask or something. What the hell is this? It's underlay, that. Where the hell's that come from? More underlay? What the hell? Underlay, underlay. Oh my god, there's more underlay. What the hell has been going on in this garden? What the hell? I think I've just snapped my spade. Oh my god. Surely not. Surely not. No. What is this? I think there's the remains of one of the veg plot fence posts, and yeah, and it's like dug right down. Just like that one, that was like buried about 2 foot deep. This one's even, what the hell? What the hell's going on? This is what I don't understand about, you know, when you buy a house and you move in and you realize like the people who lived in here before you must have done, or whoever built certain things must have like had very different ideas to you. I'm like, you've got a veg plot. It's got, I don't know, 25 posts, you know, like obviously 4 corner posts and then different bits, and like 23 of them are buried in the ground, like, you know, 10 inches deep, and then 2 of them are buried in the ground 30 inches deep. You're like, what the hell? Who made that decision? Maybe when they put the veg plot fence in the first place, these 2 were the first 2 they did. They started with like that one there, which was a nightmare to get out, and then they put this one in and they thought, oh, you know what, to hell with it. It doesn't need to be that substantial, you know. That's my guess. Do you know what it is? The only reason I turned my attention to this is because I kept flipping falling over it. Like tripping over it. I thought it was a root ball and it would be out in like 1 shovel load. I've been digging for about 5 minutes solid. Oh, in a minute. It's at the bottom. Get up. You ready? That entire thing was under the ground. Seriously. Like, it goes up past my knees here. Literally. What is that? I don't know. It's got to be 2.5 foot. Maybe not. Maybe 2 foot. Why? Why? Because can you get the lid off? Nah, it's not half full. It'll be fine. Jesus, he says, stand back, everyone. Nope. Do you ever feel defeated by things? Oh, this is buried down as well. Well, obviously it's buried down a little bit, but oh my god. I thought it would be buried down like, you know, an inch. It's not. Ooh. Disgusting. The path that I've been using between where I'm working and where I'm placing all these rocks is just like a swamp. There's like footprints filled with rainwater and stuff. Well, this looks lovely. Yeah, I hope there's nothing nesting in here. No, surely not. Why would there be? Just disturb it a little bit, just to make sure. Hello? Hello? I did once see a mouse around here. I don't know if it came out of the compost bin, I can't really remember now. No. There's nothing in here. Just some half composted compost. Whoops. Oh my god, come on. That's got a bit of glass in it. Jesus. Could have been a disaster. I feel like every time I move something, there's just more weeds. Kept all this chicken wire because I don't like putting stuff in the bin or in the skip. Well, I definitely don't like putting things in a skip. You seen the price of skips? I know everything's expensive now. Like, I know that's like a thing in the world where like people are like, oh my god, the price of everything is so high. Yes. But like, for some reason, really specific things stand out to me as being expensive. Like the price of a skip. Like, I remember getting a skip when I got my kitchen done. Not the kitchen in this house, in a previous home I lived in. Oh Jesus, that's heavier than I thought it would be. And it was like 90 quid. And I remember thinking, whew, it's a little bit more than I thought. Not, not bad, but like a little bit. Thought it would be like 75 or something, And then we got a skip last summer when we got the roof done, decent size one, and it was whatever it was. And I remember thinking, whoa, that's gone up a bit since the last time I got a skip. But to be fair, a lot of time passed. And then I looked at getting a skip when we were starting doing the garden. And it was like nearly 200 quid for like a small skip. I was like, what the hell? Why would I pay £200 for a skip when I could, for the same amount of waste, I could do like 5 trips to the tip, spend like, 10, 15 quid in fuel costs, and like, obviously a lot of time, but £200, come on. No, thank you. Anyway, how did I get onto that? Oh yeah, so the metal might end up going to a scrapyard, or I might end up just going to the tip anyway. That's quite a nice stone, isn't it? Keep that one. I really need to drain this water, but I'm also thinking I might use it for, I've got a pond out the front garden, which is, once again, been neglected. It's in a really sorry state. So I think I'm going to, in a separate video, I'm going to tackle that and like really get it like done properly, like not just fill it back up with water. It's gone a bit low. It's probably filled back up now after today's rain. But yeah, it's got like, it's full of gunk and stuff, I think instead of just doing half a job on it, I'm gonna tackle the whole thing, empty it properly and fill it back up properly, So anyway, I might use, instead of tap water, I use rainwater, which means I can empty the water butt and fill the pond. 2 jobs in one. Jesus, it's never ending. Well, if you've made it this far in the video, you're a true fan, and I appreciate you very much. Hope you've enjoyed this slightly different style video, me talking basically. If you found some value from it, that would be great. I don't think that's bad. I don't think I got it done as much as I wanted. I had envisaged kind of getting rid of this bit and flattening this and this being a bit more tidy, but I think realistically with the rain, it's not going to look any better than it is right now. Maybe I'll get back out here tomorrow for a little bit if it's a bit nicer weather, who knows. Anyway, that's a wrap. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Oh, holy moly. Filter's too heavy. Ah.